Is the FIRE movement still relevant in 2025? For years, FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early, was the ultimate dream for millions of people. It promised freedom from the 9-to-5 grind, financial security, and the chance to live life on your own terms. But now, with inflation, rising costs of living, unstable markets, and a changing economy, many people are starting to wonder, is the FIRE dream still alive in 2025? Or has it become just another internet fantasy? Let's dig into the truth. The FIRE movement started gaining popularity in the early 2010s. It was inspired by people who realized that you do not have to work until you are 65. Instead, if you save aggressively, invest wisely, and live below your means, you can retire decades earlier, sometimes even in your 30s or 40s. It sounded revolutionary. The idea was simple. Spend less, earn more, invest the difference, and let compound interest do the heavy lifting. Over time, your investments would grow large enough to cover your expenses, allowing you to quit your job and live off passive income. That's the FIRE formula. And it worked. Thousands of people documented their journeys. Teachers, engineers, and even couples earning average incomes achieved financial freedom. They shared spreadsheets, budgeting hacks, and investment strategies online. It was inspiring, a movement built on discipline and smart money management. But fast forward to 2025 and things look different. Prices are higher, the economy is volatile, and inflation has eaten away at savings. Real estate costs have skyrocketed, and even the stock market, once the go-to-growth engine for FIRE followers, has become unpredictable. So, is FIRE still realistic? Here's the truth. The traditional FIRE model doesn't work for everyone anymore. Saving 50 to 70% of your income when rent, food, and healthcare are all climbing fast is tough. Many people find it nearly impossible to reach the classic FIRE number, the amount of money you need invested to live off forever. But that doesn't mean the movement is dead. In fact, it is evolving. People have started redefining FIRE to fit the realities of 2025. Instead of full retirement, the focus has shifted to financial flexibility. It's not about quitting your job at 35 anymore, it's about gaining control over your time and choices. There are now different versions of FIRE. Lean FIRE, for minimalists who live frugally. Fat FIRE, for those who want luxury even in early retirement. Barista FIRE, where people semi-retire but work part-time to cover extra costs. And Coast FIRE, where you save aggressively early in life, then let your investments grow while you work on something you enjoy. In short, FIRE in 2025 isn't about escaping work, it's about escaping financial pressure. Let's be honest, the world has changed dramatically since the movement began. In 2025, the gig economy, remote work, and digital businesses have created new income streams. People can earn from YouTube, freelancing, online coaching, or digital products. You don't have to wait for retirement to enjoy life anymore. You can build freedom step by step by diversifying your income. And that's what the modern FIRE movement is really about now, not just saving but creating. Instead of focusing only on cutting expenses, smart FIRE followers in 2025 are focused on growing assets. They are investing in dividend-paying stocks, exchange-traded funds, rental properties, and even online businesses. They are automating their investments and using financial tools to make smarter decisions. And they are balancing long-term security with short-term happiness. Because here's the truth, you can't just save your way to freedom anymore. Inflation eats away at savings faster than ever. So the focus has shifted to income-generating investments. For example, a $500,000 portfolio used to generate around $20,000 a year safely. But with inflation and higher living costs, that same portfolio doesn't go nearly as far. That's why more people are turning to dividend investing, index funds, and real estate, assets that can grow and pay you at the same time. But here's the key. FIRE isn't really about money. It's about mindset. It is about valuing freedom over consumerism. It's about taking responsibility for your finances instead of relying on employers or governments. It's about understanding that money is a tool, not the goal. And in that sense, FIRE is more relevant than ever. Because if there's one thing the last few years have shown us, it's that financial independence isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Job markets shift. AI is changing industries. Inflation is unpredictable. And social safety nets aren't guaranteed. People are realizing they can't rely on retirement someday. They need financial independence today. So even though it is harder now, the principles of FIRE still work with adjustments. You might not retire at 35, but you can still reach a point where work becomes optional. You can still design your life around freedom, not fear. In 2025, FIRE isn't about extreme frugality anymore. It's about smart design. It's about balancing your earning, spending, and investing habits in a way that fits you. For some, that means living simply and investing aggressively. For others, it means building a side hustle that grows into a business. And for many, it just means having the flexibility to take time off without worrying about bills. So, is the FIRE movement still relevant in 2025? Absolutely, but it looks different. It's not about retiring early. It's about living intentionally. It's about having enough money to make choices that align with your values. It's about freedom from debt, stress, and financial uncertainty. Because at its core, FIRE was never really about quitting work, it was about quitting dependence. And in a world full of financial instability, that mindset has never been more powerful. So if you're thinking about FIRE in 2025, don't focus on how fast you can retire. Focus on how fast you can become financially independent. Start with small steps, track your spending, invest consistently, automate your savings, and build skills that increase your income. Even if the dream looks different now, the mission is the same. Control your money so your money doesn't control you. Because in the end, FIRE isn't about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about building a life you don't need to escape from. And that's something that will always be relevant no matter what year it is.